Growing up in Cali, you had to look up to the most influential people in the city when it came to sports entertainment. Even to this day, my family and cousins are some of the most dominant people in the industry. Now, a little background for you guys, and I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. My mom is a part of the James family who married into the Hill family, and that's how you got me. My name is RJ Hill II. I know my name has no meaning, and that's because my dad wasn't really going for the James family traditions, which we'll get into at a later time. But again, growing up, even though we weren't around the James side of my family much, it was hard to escape their influence on the city. I grew up looking up to my big cousin Danji and Bernard. Now, if you know anything about them two, you know they were football legends in the family, and I was trying to be right behind them, if not better, on that list. Now, I had been playing football all my life, and unlike my family, I was more interested in the defensive side. But growing up with two offensive beasts, I naturally got into the offensive side as well. So because my coaches saw how talented I was on the offensive end, but I still really wanted to play defense, I played both sides of the ball. This is my senior year. I'm 6'4", and due to Danji's influence on offense, I play tight end. On the defensive end, I'm playing D end or D tackle, whichever the coach needs. Of course, I'm at Mater Dei, my dad and my mom's alma mater. It's the first game of the season, and I'm looking to put up some big numbers on the defensive end, chasing down this running back for my first tackle. We got these boys on a 2nd and 16. Me and two other teammates get in the backfield, forcing a fumble. I try to dive on it, but Game picks it up before I can. And that's what I love the most about defense, bro. We could be so aggressive, and I love that. Unfortunately, I didn't get put in on the offensive possession. Here I am back on defense. And look how I explode off that rock. That speed training with Danji and Bernard is paying off. My first sack and TFL of the season. I get a chance to play offense, and they're leaving me wide open underneath, and that's an easy first down for the team. The very next play, my speed allows me to get behind the defensive zone, coming up with big yards to get us in the red zone. Hey, look, them boys scored, and I'm back on defense where I belong. And the guys are getting tired as I have to chase down the tight end to prevent giving up more yards than we already did. But we down with our backs against the end zone, trying to force a field goal, fighting my way to the ball carrier and stopping them short of the tutty. Checking back in, and we're down 1 point. QB threw a pick six, and coach is looking at me as I turn on the Jets down the middle of the field. What a huge play that was. My first tutty of the season, straight like that. I know the rest of the season is about to be a movie. Unfortunately, our secondary crumbled, and we're down 1 again. 27 seconds left in the third, and the zone is getting destroyed. QB finds me down the seams. I'm trying to get out of there, but I'm not the fastest James in the family as I get tackled on the 32-yard line. A few plays later, I'm back in looking to put up another tutty. This time, I'm streaking across the middle of the field, getting to the opposite side, leaping into the end zone, putting my body on the line for this team early in the season and let them know I'm all in. But that was the first game of the season. I had 6 receptions, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. On defense, I had 6 tackles and 4 TFLs. Next game is against Bishop Gorman, and the guys are on one as we're starting the game, getting into the backfield, already putting doubt in this QB's head about how this game is about to go. But that next drive, I guess bro got his confidence back as they score before we do on a quick option play. I'm on the field, 4th and 10, and coach wants me to get another drive going. Easy pickup for me down at the 40. A few plays later, it's a toss-up designed for me because I'm on a smaller player, and I go up and get it. First touchdown for the team and me, hoping to tie the game up. 14-7, I'm back on that line. Looking to get some stats. I wait for the play to develop, and we like to run it back up something crazy. It's a tie game right now. We got to move the ball. Late in the third quarter, I get open and try to swerve out for a touchdown, but I'm just not fast enough. But at the start of the fourth quarter, I guess they were too concerned about me getting open, but I see my guy get open on the right side of that field for a crazy tutty. When we was back on defense, we only gave up 3 points on the next drive, but we come away with the win. 8 receptions, 140 yards, and 1 tutty with 3 tackles and 1 for a loss. We had to catch a flight to Georgia, and I was ready to go from the jump, picking up 30 yards on my first reception of the game. I'm starting to accept that I'm just that guy on offense, but I really want to improve on defense because that's where my heart really is. As you see me going to get a tutty, putting our first points on the board. Like, I'm really that guy when it comes to offense, and that's what majority of my scholarships are coming from. But I really enjoy playing defense and hope to at the next level. But we end up beating Buford barely. Only one tackle that game, but I had 2 touchdowns. Back home, and I really want to get going on defense as soon as possible, coming through with a big sack on 3rd and 18. They don't score on that drive, but they did on the next, and we need to respond as I'm converting on the 3rd down, moving the chains, probably doing a little too much dancing. I'm back on 4th down, and I was too anxious to score. I tripped after catching the ball. Thought I had that one in the bag. I got to lock in. Coach gives me another opportunity, though, on 3rd down to run the same route, and it was the same results, except this time I make the catch in the end zone, tying this game up. 48 seconds left in the game, and coach wanted me to put this one away right now. Too slow and too tired, I found my way open down the field, and just when I thought I was good, Goofy hauled me down at the 1-yard line, destroying my hopes of a nasty walk-off tutty. But our coach is petty and allows me to do it anyway, considering they called a timeout after I was tackled on the last play, and boom, I'm back in for another one before we walk off the field winning this game. Big 111 yards in the air, 2 tutties, but only 1 tackle this entire game. We got Duncanville today, and there was a lot of talk between us. I'm starting strong on defense again, this time with a pass deflection off the line. 2nd quarter, and they had the ball on the 15. Coach wants a big stop right here, getting that stop for a loss of 3 yards. But on 3rd and 5, that hard work is pointless as the secondary gives up a touchdown that puts Duncanville on the board first, and the boys are yapping on that field. Fast forward, it's a tie game, and we want to score before half, and unfortunately for them, they're in zone. And I fan out to that right, using all my speed. I got a couple of steps, and I'm diving in to make sure I get this tutty with no questions. And coach got me in to get this 1st down. That's it. Easy 3-step across the middle of the field turns into even more breaking a tackle and finally being brought down. Then from the 1-yard line, coach puts me in for the same route, and I bring it down for safety, puts us up 2 scores, and now we're the ones talking crazy to Duncanville. 28-17, man. I told y'all, coach was petty because here I am again, catching another one for another touchdown just to rub it in their faces, to really let them know there is no debate about who's the best high school football team in the nation. 78 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns with 2 tackles, 1 for a loss. And we got the Rams this week, and we're already down by the 3. And you know when we get to this red zone, I'm in for one thing and one thing only, and that's to get this score. I get the catch around the 5 and fight my way in for a touchdown, and I'm feeling really good tonight. But that feeling wouldn't last too long because we ended up taking the L, and my stats were trash. Only 17 yards for 1 touchdown and 4 total tackles, which leads us to one of our biggest games of the season against none other than IMG Academy. Another one of those teams that was doing a lot of talking prior to the game. This game was really the fight for the #1 position, and we wanted to make sure we made a statement tonight. A lot of eyes were going to be on this game, and I wanted to make sure I impressed on defense tonight. I had to work overtime. And aren't I the guy to get us going, though? From the 15, I got my eyes on the end zone, drag across the middle of the field, I secure that rock, make a move, and stumble my way into the end zone. And if you could see the looks on them boys' faces, you wouldn't know what I already knew, and that is they were just not ready for us. And when I say they weren't ready, on 3rd and 3, QB thought I was going to rush him, so he made a quick pass, but what he didn't see was me drop back in coverage, and you know I'm catching that one. I tried to turn on the Jets, but it just wasn't enough. Crazy play. And that's exactly what I needed to happen with all the scouts watching. We pitched a shutout this game, 70 yards in the air for 1 tutty, 1 interception for 42 yards and 2 tackles. But I'm starting to feel as if all of this is just not enough. I'm getting calls from schools that want me on the team as just a tight end, and I know I'm more than that. I know I can make a difference on the defensive side of the ball. This game was for the championship, by the way. And with this being my last game of my senior year, I wanted to make sure I put in the effort so scouts could see that defense was important to me. But no matter what defenses did against me on offense, I was scoring with minimum effort. I mean, it was to the point where coach could literally call whatever and just throw the ball up, and he knew I was coming down with it. Being that dependable on the offensive side made me want to be that dependable on the defensive side as well. It's hard to sit in front of a coach and tell tell them you're more than offense when plays just keep falling in your lap like this? Was I supposed to not catch the ball and hope that the plays came my way on defense? I mean, I still wanted to win, and I didn't want people to think I was a bum or something like that. I made up in my mind that I was going to fight to play defense no matter what school I went to, even if that meant I came off the bench. I would be more than happy to at least have a chance to show I was like that off the line. But what happens next, I wasn't prepared for. Of course, we won this game dominantly. 152 yards for 6 tutties, 3 tackles, and 1 for a loss. At the end of that season, you know, I won Mr. Football in the state of California. I had plenty of scholarships, but every coach I talked to was not really interested in splitting my time on the field. They really wanted me to lock in and play offense because they knew I would dominate, and to be fair, they weren't wrong. But at the end of the day, I needed to do what was best for me and what I wanted to do, or I would regret it for the rest of my life. I wanted to play defense, and whatever team was going to let me do that, that's where I was going. No questions asked. But one thing I had to remember, which I forgot at the time, was you get what you ask for. And just know, what I asked for, I got it. But I'll see y'all in the next one. So I guess now would be a great time to tell you guys about the drama between the James family and the Hill family, because how I got to this point will make a lot more sense. All right, so my mom was a track star in the James family. She went to the Olympics and won like 15 gold medals. I know, it's crazy. My dad was also a track star who got injured in the Olympic trials and never really recovered. They fell in love in high school, where all the drama began. Now let's fast forward to after college, and they decided to get married and have a child, which is me. Now my dad came from a strict Christian household, and as y'all know, the James family has roots in Africa and their own specific rituals for when a child is born. Needless to say, the Hill family was against taking me to Africa to be named, and there was big drama behind that because all James babies were named in Africa. Now Grandpa James and Grandma James were not happy, and Grandma and Grandpa Hill on my dad's side was not going for it. My dad ended up just naming me after him, and that's where all the tradition drama began. Now as you all know, the James family had strong ties with UCLA and USC. There were James family members who went to other colleges for sure, but when it came to situations like mine, the James family would always pull strings to get them in big name colleges to pursue their dreams the way they wanted to. Now, to me, that was a huge W, because to be able to play offense and defense at UCLA or USC would have been amazing. But the Hill family was totally against it, and my dad felt strongly about it. He wanted me to carve my own path, make my own way, and I respected that as well. But doing so was going to be tougher than I imagined. Like I said before, no school wanted me to play both sides of the ball. I was a 5-star tight end and a 2-star defensive end, and with me wanting to play defense more than offense, my options were slim to none. I wanted to play at a big school, but again, like I said before, I was willing to do whatever it took to play defense, which leads us here. Because I was so stuck on playing defense, the only options I had was JUCO schools. My dad thought it would be a great idea to stay close to home so I could train with some of his NFL friends and really develop my defensive skills. At the time, I was all for it, and I met with the first JUCO school that wanted me, and I signed immediately after that meeting. Was it a bad move? Only time would tell, but being there was exciting. Knowing that I would be a starter on defense had me playing on a different level on offense. I mean, I was naturally gifted at that, but on defense, I was working my ass off, getting off blocks, making tackles. I was giving it my all in practice because I had something to prove. My freshman season at El Camino, only 26 minutes from home, and I'm opening the season on offense, picking up 17 yards my first catch in JUCO. 3rd and 6, down 14 against Fresno City. Coach wants me to go score, take some pressure off the team. I do my best Dangy impersonation and get some steps on my man. QB throws a perfect pass. This is my first score in JUCO, and I'm feeling good because all this means is I get a chance to perform on the defensive side. But again, my offense still outshines my defense, and coach calls a streak. I guess I'm too fast because that's another score for me and the team. Tying the game up before half. First major play for me on defense, last minutes of the 4th, trying to stop Fresno from scoring. I finessed to a quick stop in the red zone. Then the play right after that, I'm just playing contain. When the QB rolls my way and eyes light up because I'm off the block, getting a big sack, backing them up 9 yards for a 3rd and 18, and getting a big stop like this on a crucial down got me lit as I hit my dance. Just running the clock down, I find my way open down the field for a nice gain, making sure we put this game away. Then from the 9, coach gives us the go ahead, and I'm open over top again for a tutty. And the way the team is crowded around me, I'm feeling like the man. I got a game-saving tackle and sack, and now the game-sealing touchdown. I'm really that guy right now on the JUCO level. But it didn't end there. 7 seconds left. They want a touchdown, but they give me another opportunity for a sack. I can't lie. If every game is like this, I might not be here for long. Huge game for me. Player of the game, of course. 196 yards for 3 tutties, 3 total tackles, 2 for a loss, and 2 sacks. We got Modesto Junior College up next, and coach has me in on a trick play to go up 2 touchdowns, and I wasn't against it. I just wasn't sure if it was going to work. To my surprise, it did, and I'm back where I left off last game. And the offense keeps going. Quick 8-yard drop finds me open in the middle of the field. Might as well add the points up. And again, before half, 30 seconds left, QB throws one to me. I don't even think he looked, but I caught that bitch. Hat trick before half, and we skunked these goofies already. Obviously, this was an easy game defensively, but I didn't see the field much, so no stats there. We got Saddleback this week, and these guys are tough. Already down 7, but the way I get open should be studied. Tiptoeing, catching a rock on the 1-yard line, putting my team in position to score. Unfortunately, we only came away with 3 and gave up 3, but on 2nd and 10, I got my eyes on a QB, and I get back there wrapping him up for a loss of 9. Our QB threw a pick, and I'm back on defense. No complaints from me, though, because on 1st down, I'm getting in the backfield for another sack, and that's 2 sacks on this game, holding them to another field goal. But it's time for us to score again. I'm cutting across midfield. QB places the ball nicely down at the 19. 4th and 4, coach wants to convert. I'm across the middle of the field again, getting a 1st down, and from the sideline, I watch as our running back catches in on my hard work for the touchdown. But our QB threw a devastating pick on a game-winning drive, and this will be my last play on defense, getting a nice stop on the QB keeper, and we lose our first game of the season by 7 points. But I had 94 yards in the air, 3 tackles for a loss, and 1.5 sacks. The beautiful thing about JUCO was I didn't have to worry about losing. I just needed to dominate, according to my dad. And I was doing that on 2nd and 20, picking up the first for the team. I was really starting to buy into that thought pattern though, because I was starting to see success early in the season. I already had some offers from D1 schools willing to let me play defense and offense, and all this did was drive me to be more successful, win or lose. I mean, the way I'm rounding up zones, folks knew I was meant to play at a higher level. Diving for a catch, putting my body on the line, giving it my all would for sure bring more interest from other D1 schools. I was so ready for the next level that even when I scored touchdowns, I started doing the Heisman pose. And I think that was starting to rub everyone the wrong way, because my QB started throwing in the triple coverage instead of throwing to me, and I'm just confused on what was going on. But I wasn't tripping. This gave me more opportunities on defense, and I was showing that my presence on the field made a difference, making the QB get rid of the ball quicker than they wanted to. Then the very next play, I get pressure on the QB again. This time I go for the strip and pop the ball loose, and the guys recover it, giving us great field position. But the QB was just not giving me the ball as he throws another interception on a play that was easily designed for me to score after the forced fumble. But it's all good. Still player of the game with 123 in the air for 2 tutties and 1 TFL, half a sack, and a forced fumble. But I guess coach got on bro's head, because next week, every time we got in the red zone, I was the target. All I had to do was catch that bit. And early in the 2nd quarter, I do just that, putting us on the scoreboard first. But always being the target had his downfalls, because he just blindly throws one to the heavens, gets me smacked, and the ball intercepted. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is bro trying to get me injured out here? But coach does not care. On 4th and 3, quick pass to me out on the flats and man coverage. I somehow outrun the defense for a 21-yard touchdown, increasing this lead even more. And it just wouldn't stop. The routes that coach was calling was working, and I was putting in that work on offense today, literally carrying this team. On offense, I had an incredible day. 129 in the air for 3 touchdowns, but all I produced on defense was 1 pass deflection. Now, this next game was against Mount San Antonio, the best JUCO team in Cali last year, and I wanted to come out and dominate. Getting my game going early in the 2nd quarter, I catch the ball at the 11, fight my way in, breaking tackles for the tutty. Then on defense, 2nd and 6, I'm seeing the run and by time knocking Goofy off his feet, letting the former best team in Cali know I'm here. Time running down in the 3rd, and I'm playing contain again, and the QB stupidly rolls my way. I come up with a huge sack in the biggest game of my life so far, making it 4th and 20. It's 4th and 2, QB still not throwing me the ball, knows he has to get me the rock on this play. It's a quick one that I secure for the 1st down. It was needed because we're only up 2. Unfortunately, special teams and defense gave up scores and we're down with 30 seconds left in the game. I come up with a clutch catch on the sidelines, getting us closer to field goal range. The play after that, I'm exhausted, but coach calls a streak and I give it my all. They can't keep up with me, but I'm brought down at the 5-yard line with only 24 seconds left in the game. And from the 1-yard line, I thought for sure I would be rewarded for my efforts. Instead, the homie gets the go-ahead score, and he even hits the Heisman on San Antonio. We win 25-18. I had 122 in the air for 1 touchdown, 1 TFL, and a pass deflection. Championship game against Riverside, and this was supposed to be a movie. We had established our dominance in Cali and was ready to take it all, but I guess we came in a little too cocky because this turned out to be a horror film instead. Don't get me wrong, I came out doing my thing. I was making a way for my QB to get open passes, running my routes to perfection. I felt as if I did everything I could for the team early to get us going. Even on defense, I was locked in. I guess it was just early game adrenaline. Even coming in after the first quarter, I was doing everything I could to make sure we would keep this lead and win the game. But after the QB threw this blind ball to me for a pick, I felt the move switch in the huddle and on the sideline. I mean, no matter what we did, whatever play coach drew up, we just couldn't get going. It seemed as if every time coach called a play for me, the QB folded somehow, just blindly threw it to me, no matter the coverage. Like, I understand that coach wanted you to get me the ball, but I was not Superman. Even on defense, they ran the ball away from me, leaving me in a position to have to chase someone down, really draining my battery. And they really kept going with that game plan as we give up the game time touchdown from the 8-yard line. We were really selling this game. At this point, I'm thinking the QB has a parlay up for us to lose this game because the reads he was making this game, I hadn't seen all season. I mean, pick after pick. And even on defense, my DBs are getting routed up something crazy, giving up big yards for another touchdown. This would be the QB's second pick 6 of the championship game. And the advice that my dad gave to me in the beginning of the season was starting to make more sense than ever. But that didn't make it any easier to handle losing such a big game by such a big margin. That really lit a different fire in me because I was ready to get out of here and play some real football with some players who really had something to lose. That game wasn't all bad for me though. 185 in the air, despite all the picks, 4 total tackles, 3 TFLs. I was on one. And the few D1 offers I had early in the season turned into 10 options for me to go D1 next season. And if you don't think I'm not out of here after the way that season ended, you're out of your mind. Oh, and not to mention, all 10 want me to play both sides of the ball. It was time to lock in and take full advantage of this opportunity. I guess we'll have to see how it all plans out in the next one. So there's been so much going on and so much exciting new information for me to tell you guys. Let's get right into it. After my freshman season in JUCO, I had 10 offers from D1 schools who were willing to let me play both sides of the ball. Majority of those schools were on the East Coast, but according to my dad, I didn't want to go out too far from home. I needed to be grounded close to home so I could focus on training in school to really get to where I wanted to be. So that narrows the schools down to 1, and when it was time to meet up with the coach via Zoom, I think I heard all I needed to hear from him that day.
We know you're talented as a tight end, and the offense is excited to have another threat on that side of the ball. But I have seen some great things from you on defense, and the line that I'm bringing you in on is hungry. And with the addition of your hunger, that line is going to be taken to the next level. I want to offer you a full scholarship for however long you want to be here and play for us. I know this is only your second year, but if you're interested in getting your master's, we have some great programs you could choose from.
Y'all heard the man, right? I'm only a sophomore and they're already talking about years down the line. This is what I was looking for in the beginning. A team that actually wanted me for me and a team that was willing to work with me on both sides of the ball like I wanted. It was a partnership and even a trade-off. And when I got there for spring training, I immediately saw what coach was talking about when it came to the hunger of that D-line. I'm getting beat to the second string QB, and it's making me even more excited to get out there on the field and really see how we handle opposing offensive lines. I don't really need to get into how I performed as a tight end. At this point, y'all already know what's going on there. First game of the season and my first game in a New Mexico State uniform, and bruh, how do I put those feelings into words? Like, I finally made it. No, it wasn't the best program in the nation or a Power 5 school, but you know what it was? It was a D1 and I knew I had the potential to be great, and this was my time to prove that. Now, I'm not sure what happened to the weather, but it's raining now, which means I have to lock in, finding some space in the defense, getting us closer to scoring our first tutty of the season. I didn't realize how reliant this offense was on me because the next play, QB saw me trying to get open and threw a premature ball that was picked off, and now this was a horrible way to start the season instead of the dream touchdown. These are my first reps on defense, and late in the second, I come up with a great assisted tackle to hold Central Michigan to a 3rd and 10. They would go on to score on that drive, but with 35 seconds left in the half, I come down with a clutch play to get the first and stop the clock. Then from the 35 with 12 seconds left, QB places a perfect pass over 2 defenders that I come down with for my first touchdown as an Aggie and my first career touchdown at a D1 school. Hit them boys with the Heisman pose and sit them goofies on their way. Truth be told, this is what they brought me here for. 12-yard pop-out route that gets me open. Then I juke 2 defenders, really turning up the team with the 2-minute warning coming into play. Team has gotten us to the 22-yard line, and I'm back in to drive it home. Offensive line holds up long enough for me to make a play, and I do just that, coming down with my second tutty of the game, tying this game up. But it wasn't enough as we give up 3 on defense for the game. I had 116 in the air for 2 touchdowns, 1 tackle, and that was a TFL. This is not the way I wanted to start my season on defense in the last game, but coming in against UTEP on offense, I got to go ahead, getting us a first down and some. The guys get us down to the 6-yard line, easy 4-step drop, and I walk into the end zone, easy play. Now back in the second, we gave up a touchdown, but I'm ready to get back. I'm too good on offense, and I guess that cockiness got to my head because I'm celebrating before I get into the end zone, and I fumble the ball. UTEP recovers it, and now I've given these goofies a chance to win this game. But it's okay though. We played great defense, and now is my time to make sure we secure this win. Tiptoeing to catch this perfect pass in the back of the end zone, and you know it's a tutty. That fumble woke me up, because just like we lost last game, we could lose this one too, and I'm not going for that. 4th and 15, coach is calling a desperation play, which is why I'm in. So I'm turning upfield. I'm not sure what the defense is on, but it's a walk in for the tutty. And this time I laid the ball in the end zone, flexing on the UTEP defense, who really thought they had a chance against me. And I definitely let them know before heading back to the sideline. But then the worst thing possible happened. I'm providing great rushing for the team when the QB throws a prayer, and our secondary let them catch it somehow. And bro hit the Heisman pose in the end zone the way I do, mocking me. And I'm letting you know now this game is about to get heated. But I'm trying to make this an ESPN classic. QB tosses one up in double coverage, and I'm coming down with it. Nah, I'm really like that. I had to talk my shit. Down at the 13, these goofies leaving me open? Yeah, let me get that. Easy touchdown. Like I really do this. Just because they at the D1 level don't mean they better than me. And they gotta feel that now. But now is my time on defense. 2nd and 10. QB trying to make a way, but he turns right into me and I take him down. I'm providing that same pressure on the edge and make the QB throw a bad ball. It's a pick for the defense, and I'm doing my job whether it's a sack or not. And it's a pick 6 too? Yeah. Heisman definitely in my future. And that's how the game ends. 224 yards in the air, 4 tutties, a game-changing sack. I'm feeling good today. Memphis this week, after our first win of the season, getting the game started with a 19-yard gain on my first play. Down at the 5-yard line, coach calls the passing play. QB squeezes the ball in for a tutty, and you know I'm back on my Heisman campaign. The guys got us down to the 16, and coach is looking to me to score. I got 3 people chasing me, but I got a couple of steps on all of them. Count it up. 2nd touchdown of the game, and it's before half. Now, coach wants more points on the board, though. I'm on a streak, and they just can't keep up with me. Passes thrown great, and I come down with it. Coach also realized that the middle of the field is their weakest, and that means I'm getting a hat trick before halftime, and the Heisman voters gotta have me on their radar after this game. Here's another example of the rushing pressure I provide, forcing the QB to get rid of the ball right into the hands of our secondary for a pick. In this game, that's already a L for Memphis. 2nd and 5 from the 16, we're targeting the weak Memphis defense, and that's another one. Time to have fun on defense. I end up in the backfield with my teammate, and we do the QB something dirty. Easy one. The QB doesn't want to get hit again, and the pressure off the edge forces him to throw another pick, and we're looking unstoppable in this game. Running the clock out, coach calls a pass play, and I'm thinking, why not? Another touchdown in this game, and we need to warm the bus up because this Memphis crowd is ready to riot. "203 yards, 5 touchdowns, half a sack, and a few tackles for a loss" is how I end this game. Rivalry game against New Mexico. Here I am, starting the game with a 40-yard catch, getting the guys down to the 5-yard line. I come back in on second down, easy 3-step drop for the tutty, pick it right back up where I left off in the Memphis game. Fourth and goal, and I'm back in the game. At this point, just call me Mr. Touchdown, man. Because when it's time, I'll always make a way. Outrunning my defender for the touchdown. Too easy. Look at me on defense, though. Hit that lineman with a crazy move, getting the stop on third down, and it's looking like this was going to be a big game for me. Back on offense, I'm just running past the defenders. Perfect ball. I'm catching on the sideline. Big play, even better catch. The play right after that, you think they will lock in on me, but instead they give up another deep pass, this time for a touchdown. At this point, just forfeit the game. And it was honestly over before it started. 157 yards for 3 tutties, 2 TFLs, 2 sacks. Well, I haven't been to Georgia since high school, but I'm back at Kennesaw State, getting a nice catch across the middle of the field. You ask yourself why they continue to leave me open, and I have no idea. But you can go ahead and count it up. Easy play, great results. But our secondary was really selling us. No matter how much pressure I was providing, we were getting destroyed in the air as we give up the tying touchdown with 1 minute left in the game. We went 3 and out on offense, so I'm back on defense, hoping to get a stop. Assisted tackle here for a loss, and we stopped the clock, which ended up being great strategy from the coaches as we hold them to a field goal with less than a minute to make something shake. 26 seconds left and counting. Coach finally puts me in. I know my job is simple. They play man for whatever reason, but I'm too strong. Get my man off me, and I force my way into the end zone for the game-saving touchdown that had them boys' heads hanging because they couldn't believe they let that happen this late in the game. Not double-teaming me is about to become a sin, and I was going to make sure it was law. But that was that. 107 in the air, 2 tutties, 4 tackles, 2 for a loss, 1 sack. And that was the growing trend for me. So much so that I randomly found my way into the Heisman list. This was all I needed to get turned up, I cannot lie. And that just meant every game I had to go out there and do my best to stay on that list and even move up the list. I had to dominate the Conference USA on defense and offense every chance I got. I'm talking about getting sacks, then coming in on offense and making impossible catches that would make voters consider that I'm better than the guys making the passes. And y'all know the way my mind thinks, I'm already that guy on offense. So on defense, I had to stay locked in, getting crucial sacks in a game we were losing at the time just so we had a chance to score on the other end. And I didn't quit. Getting a diving sack on third down to drive them further back, and my drive during this part of the season was unmatched. I'm getting Conference USA Defensive Players of the Week off of my efforts, and life was looking great for me on and off the field. It was looking as if I had the Heisman Trophy sold up. Conference USA Championship against Middle Tennessee, and I know I need to show up for this game as this will be my final push to actually winning the Heisman Trophy. The amount of pressure I'm feeling in this game, I don't have words for it, but I'm going to do better than my best to lock it in. 2nd and 5 from the 6, dangerous pass from the QB, but I catch it in stride and I get caught at the 37-yard line. We definitely talking trash this game. 3rd and 5, damn near the same route and the same results, getting us in the red zone, and we're still taking jabs at each other. Secondary is not liking how I'm carving them up, but that's too damn bad. From the 12, I get a lot of space, dragging my foot for the touchdown, and it ain't no need to even review the play because I know I'm like that. On defense, though, I'm using my speed to chase down the running back for a loss on the assisted tackle. Surprise, surprise, I'm open across the middle of the field yet again, picking up big yards for the team. We only came away with 3 on that play, but on this next drive, I'm cashing in for the tutty. Easy points on the board, easy touchdown for me. Back on defense, and I'm locked in, staying at home, getting off the block, easy TFL. Defense got a pick, and we're on the 8. I'm turning on the jets off the line. I get the catch, then turn on the afterburners that helps me walk into the end zone for a 92-yard touchdown. And I know Middle Tennessee is feeling the defeat after this one. Back on defense, 2nd and 10, I'm flying off the line. QB has nowhere to go, and I make him pay. Big sack for a major loss on the play, and I can't do nothing but hit my dance on those fools. And right after that, they go for the run, and I wanted the safety, but instead, I just get the big hit, and bro crumbles right after stepping out the end zone. I would go on to score 2 more touchdowns. One was a beautiful ball thrown over the top at the edge of the end zone that I caught effortlessly. And the second was a nice pass on the opposite side of the field, leaving the defense to chase me in. Big championship game for me and the guys. I'm pulling in 289 yards for 5 touchdowns, 3 TFLs, some sacks, and that conference trophy. But then we got some bittersweet news. We were invited to play for the national championship, but the team we would be facing in the first round was Miami. Then I got the worst news possible. I didn't win the Heisman Trophy. I got beat out by a bunch of QBs that I don't think had a better season than me. It is what it is. I just needed to win this championship, no matter how tough the road was going to be. And from the looks of it, we were going to get a fighting chance as I get the first touchdown for us late in the 3rd quarter. Then in the 4th, QB catches me on the street for another touchdown that has the Miami fans in disbelief. We actually end up beating Miami in overtime, and we get to move on. But I put up 137 yards for 2 touchdowns with 3 tackles, 2 for loss, and half a sack. But this next game was against Kansas State. It really made me think about my entire career and how I wanted to be remembered in college football. I didn't win the Heisman this year, but I was excelling on both sides of the ball. Like, if I really locked in, I could possibly be the greatest of all time. Like, look at this play. I'm getting wide open and no one is around me or even paid attention to me, and that's an easy touchdown. But our secondary was really making this game seem like we couldn't compete, as the homie and I come up with a big sack on 4th down to make K-State give the ball up with only minutes left in the game. 52 seconds left in the game, and we're trying to put up a score to make this game look decent. What a pass to me, getting us to the 10-yard line. And where was all of this earlier? Like, I know I'm that guy, but do I have to do everything for the team? I know I have the best hands on the team, probably in the nation, and I get open easily, but I need more weapons all around. Touchdown here, and possibly the last time I get to hit the Heisman this season, as we lose this game by 7, but it hurt a lot more than that to know I did everything I could to make sure we won this game. But like I've been saying, and like my pops has been saying, it is what it is. I definitely set some school records though. 1,656 yards and 28 touchdowns that season. On defense, 28 tackles, 19 TFLs, and 11 sacks. If my career isn't looking up, I don't know what y'all are seeing. I'm hopping in this transfer portal right now, and I'll see y'all in the next episode with my decision, because I got a lot of options. So after last season, I'm thinking it's time to move on from New Mexico State and explore the transfer portal, but you guys will never believe this. The same guy that told me to make my own path was telling me to go ahead and leave and find a bigger school. And the James side of the family was telling me to stay and become a superstar on both sides of the ball and lead his team to a national championship. Now, as crazy as that sounds, the way I was feeling, it made sense, and I truly believe I could do it. But my dad was adamant about not listening to the James side of the family because they only did things to benefit their family. All this drama amongst my family members was definitely getting to me, and it was unnecessary stress. I took some time and decided I was going to put in the work this offseason and make sure I was what my James side of the family knew I was. Sorry, Dad, but I'm taking their side on this one. First game of the season, and hopefully my last in this New Mexico State jersey, and it felt just like old times coming out of that tunnel. But I knew once I stepped out on that field, it would be like riding a bike. Now, what I didn't tell you guys is that I told the coach prior to the start of the season that I didn't want to be a major part of the offense unless it was absolutely necessary. But here I am catching a pass across midfield in stride for a major gain all the way down to the 4-yard line, where our running back took it the rest of the way, opening up the season against Northern Illinois. I was making noise on defense as well. 52 seconds left in the game, and coach wants a big stop. I get in the backfield, take the QB down while poking out the ball. One of the guys falls on it, and that's exactly how we come in this season. I wanted to go out as one of the best two-way players in college history when it was all said and done, and that just might happen with the first game in the books. 28-10. Offensively, I had 3 receptions for 83 yards, but I had 4 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a forced fumble to start the season. This Michigan State team really reinforced what Dangy and Bernard was saying, and that was I needed to get faster. Perfect example, QB just outruns me from the 8-yard line as we give up a score early in this game. But I'm going to get it back in blood. 13 seconds left in the first, and I dart right to the end zone, tiptoeing out the back end, and the ref says it's a touchdown. If I give it up on one side, I'm going to definitely get it back on the other end. 7-point lead, but we want more. We got to dominate this season. Little fade route that gets me open. QB throws a dot, and I'm coming down with it, and that just increases our lead, and I think I'm liking this new system I had the coach put me in. I get to spend majority of my time on defense, and it's starting to pay off, getting a nice tackle on the QB before he picks up too many yards. Right here, Goofy thought he evaded me. I dive for the tackle, and he ends up throwing it right to my guy for the pick, and I take the opportunity to lay him out still as the homie scores on a pick 6. And just like that, not only do we beat Michigan State, we blow them out by 28. 119 yards in the air for 2 tutties, 4 tackles, 1 TFL, and 3 sacks. Big game against Hawaii, and I'm getting it going with a crazy jump ball. The QB tossed up, and you know I'm coming down with it at the 1-yard line, getting the guys in perfect position to score. But coach tells me to stay in for a quick drop, and I get the honors of scoring the first in this rainy game. Down 3 late in the third, and we need a big time stop to get a chance at tying or winning this game. I stay at home as the QB panics and runs right into me, and I get the big stop hoping they miss the field goal attempt. Luckily they do, and coach brings me in on the 18-yard line. Another fade route right in between 2 defensive players. It's a dot and another score for the guys. 4th and 4 for Hawaii, desperation down, and look at how the line gets into the backfield as I come up with the assist on the sack, and it's a turnover on downs. But Hawaii still wants to take a shot, and that's cool with me as I fire off the ball, getting into the backfield for my own solo sack, and that's another game in the book, and we're just thumbing through this schedule, smacking anybody against us. Only 2 touchdowns on 38 yards, but 3 tackles, 2 TFLs, 1.5 sacks this game. Now, if you missed this Liberty game, this was definitely one of the ones you had to see. Starting the game, shooting for the stars, all the way in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Like, if you blink, you definitely missed that. Quick 5-step drop. QB throws a missile, and it's another touchdown for the gang, and I'm feeling good right now. Coach put me in on 3rd and inches. Liberty is in man coverage, and that's tough because I'm too fast for the defense. Can't catch me on the foot race, and that's a hat trick, and we not even at halftime yet. I would score another touchdown, but let's get into this defense. Watch how I pursue the QB off the ball, getting into the backfield for the chase down sack, and I'm telling them to check the scoreboard because they getting smacked right now, and it's not even close. Smashed on this team as we should. 146 yards for 4 touchdowns, 3 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection. And peep this, I was named Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week off those stats, and I can't lie, it felt great to be recognized for my defense. Oh yeah, I brought in the Offensive Player of the Week as well, but I wasn't tripping about that for real. But I will say this, that was my first time anything like that happened, and I was very appreciative. But if you thought that Liberty game was crazy, wait until y'all see this game against our rivals. And I knew I had to go crazy. Starting the game from the 1-yard line, coach calls the pass, and I get us all the way down to the 38. 2nd and goal for New Mexico, and I want that stop. Coming from the opposite side of the ball, getting a TFL on the running back, and I was hyped. But it was all for nothing because on the next play they scored. And we down 4, about to go into half, and I already know what coach wants. QB puts the ball in the middle of the end zone, and I fall down with it, securing it for the lead heading into the locker room. But I'm touching the field again in the 4th quarter on a go route, and the QB puts it right in my pocket, and I fall into the end zone for the touchdown and the lead. We just got to get a stop on defense, and Art I'da got to do it. Fighting off 2 linemen, I somehow find my way into a pile of players, and I strip the ball from the QB. Heads up play from the homie to fall on the ball, and the crowd is shocked as I pick up my 20th sack of my career, and we win the Rio Grande rivalry game. And I knew from this game this would be my last time playing in a college jersey because I had 224 yards for 2 touchdowns, 7 tackles, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Now, of course, I come away with another Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week and an Offensive Player of the Week as well. And even though these weren't National Players of the Week, as the season went on, my name was being brought up by NFL scouts and award voters for Defensive Player of the Year and the Best Tight End Award. I just needed to make sure the rest of the season went just like it was going and even improve on it if I could. But let's fast forward to the Conference USA Championship. And with all the talk, this was going to be the last time I can play for this trophy, and I wanted to make sure I went out with a bang. But I told Coach I really really wanted to only play defense, and it was already showing to be a terrible idea as they end up scoring late in the first quarter and our offense just couldn't get anything going. But I told y'all I'm gonna get it back in blood. I break free from my defender to catch a dot, and I juke to the outside, and I turn on the jets that I told y'all earlier I needed to work on, and it's to the crib for a huge touchdown to really show that we deserve to be the number 3 team in the nation. But let's fast forward into the third, and we're down by 10. Look at the QB throwing a dot on the sideline, and I'm on that. And we do score right after that as I watch from the sideline. But on the defensive end, the line is doing their job. But I hear a roar from the stands as I turn around to see Louisiana Tech scoring a touchdown on 3rd and 13. No way the guys gave that up like that. Then things go from bad to worse as the QB throws a forced pick six, 26 yards out. That's making this game seem as if we just can't win. But with 38 seconds left in the third, the defense is not worried about me, and that's their first mistake. As I take off towards the end zone, just straight speed, and that's just another score in this shootout, and we're fighting back. And the stage is set for me to show I'm that guy. Down by 3, 2 minutes left in the game. I'm fighting to get in the backfield. I see my guy strip the ball from the QB, and I take off and dive on it for the crucial turnover to put us at least in field goal range. But I'm telling the coach I want to be in on this drive. I need to be in. And on 3rd and 9, I break free across the middle of the field, finally tackled at the 6-yard line. 2nd and goal, quick 3-step drop. QB looks around and finally delivers the ball to me, and that was the touchdown we needed to put us up a score. And again, I want to go right back in the game. I got my eyes solely on the QB for this one. Easy break to the QB, diving for the tackle, and it's a big loss of yards. But on 3rd and 8, I guess he did not want to get hit like that again and throws our dart right to one of the homies, and it's a house call as that ices the game for us. But Louisiana did get the ball back, and we all know they're trying to take a shot deep, but the QB holds the ball too long, and I come up with another huge sack, and we're Conference USA champions. 3 touchdowns on 310 yards, 4 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery. Hey, what a game from the guys, and what a way to rally back. But even bigger news for me personally, no, I didn't win the Heisman, but I did manage to secure the Best Defensive Player of the Year award, along with the Best Defensive End, the Best Tight End, and the Lombardi. I got all these trophies, and I can't wait to get home to show my parents, especially my dad. I know he's gonna be so proud.
But all I'm saying is, if you were at a better school, like I said in the beginning, you won the Heisman too. Sometimes you just gotta listen to your old man, because now what? Y'all gonna get invited to the big dance and lose it all like you did last year? I just wish you would have just listened to me instead of listening to them idiots in the James family, and you might have had a chance. Damn, that's the price you gonna have to pay though, son. A hard head makes a soft behind. You gonna learn today.
Damn. Oh well for my pops being happy for me. But it's all good. I proved him wrong already by coming back with all this hardware. It's time to prove him wrong again and go get this national championship. And here we go. National championship game against Pittsburgh. And even though we're ranked number 2 in the nation, everyone said we were about to get smashed on because we had a bad schedule compared to Pitts. But let's be real. We beat some great teams to get here, and we deserved a shot. And if I had to, I was going to make sure personally that we won by any means necessary. But I already see it wasn't going to be easy. 2nd and 16, QB throws a pick, and this was bad news giving Pitts and this crowd a turnover this early in the game. It wasn't looking good for us. But it was time to bounce right back from the 32-yard line. I see a soft spot in the defense. I catch the ball and run right through a goofy, finally being taken down at the 1-yard line. Then on 3rd down, that quick drop is going to kill that zone every time. And that's the answer right back we needed to quiet down these Pittsburgh fans. Back on defense, and I'm up to no good. Chasing down a running back, getting an assisted tackle. Then on 3rd and 9, the secondary is making the QB wait, and just in time, I sneak up from behind and throwing down for a big stop. 3rd and 7, just a straight shot down the field, and I made more out of it getting tackled at the 1-yard line. The homie punches it in after that. Our secondary would sell us out immediately after that, which means I had to get it back because I can't always blame them. It's up to us on the line to provide that pressure, but nevertheless, you see the middle of the field wide open for me, and it's another foot race they had no chance in. Big touchdown, and this was an early shootout game still in the first quarter. But look at this. This is why I say the secondary was giving it up, because there's no reason for this to happen. Pitts ties the game right back up before half, but on this 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line, we were just looking to get into field goal position, but the defense is playing me for weak. So when I get into the end zone, I place the ball at their feet, since they think it's really not like that with me. We're up 2 scores, and I'm trying to make a statement on defense, and this is a great way to start with a diving tackle on the QB before he starts scrambling. Now that was marked down as an assisted sack, so I had to get one on my own. In the backfield, cracking the QB for a major loss, and this Pittsburgh team is looking like they took us for granted this whole time, dancing on them Goofy's graves. 4th and 12, coach is feeling different and tells me to go and get one, so I turn on the Jets. QB drops it in my pocket, and that's another touchdown for me in the biggest game of my life so far. 2nd and 7, we gave up a gracious touchdown. The gang is tired. We've been leaving it all on the field, but this in and out route got them lost. Not only that, but I'm putting my head down, running through a guy and diving into the end zone, making sure I leave this game sold up. But I was not done on defense, adding insult to injury, coming up with a sack for the stats. And just like that, we did the impossible this season. We not only won the Conference USA, but we finished the season undefeated and won it all. I know this might mean nothing to y'all, but it means everything to me. Being able to say that I was a two-way superstar in college, and I carried this team on my back to this point. But what do I know? According to my pops, this was all a fluke. Maybe I should have just listened to Bernard and Dangy at this point. Maybe my draft stock would have been higher than it is now. I might have been able to go number 1 in the draft, because the way it's looking, I might fall. Either way, I proved everyone wrong, and now I'm interested to see which route I can take in the NFL. Y'all think they're gonna let me play both ways? I guess we'll have to see in the next episode.